This lesson is designed to teach students the use of the past continuous tense in English. First, learn when and how to use the past continuous tense. Next, listen to and read the example sentences in the past continuous tense. When you are ready, do the exercises. The past continuous tense describes an action that was in progress at a specific time or period of time in the past. It answers the question, what was happening at that time? Affirmative sentences in the past continuous tense consist of a subject, the be verb was or were, and the action verb plus ing. For example, at 7 o'clock last night, I was studying at the library. They were waiting for the bus when the accident happened. A negative sentence consists of the subject, the be verb was or were, the word not, and the action verb plus ing. I was not sleeping when I heard the noise. We were not or weren't listening. Yes and no questions are formed with the be verb was or were, the subject, and the action verb plus ing. Was she working late? Were they watching the game? Questions with the 5 W's and how consist of the question word, who, what, where, when, why, and how, the be verb was or were, the subject, and the action verb plus ing. Why was she working late? Where were they watching the game? We use the past continuous tense for an action in progress at a specific time or period of time in the past. Examples: at 9 p.m. last night, I was finishing my report. This time last week, they were staying at a hotel downtown. During the meeting, the manager was explaining the new policy. The past continuous tense is also used for a longer action interrupted by a shorter action, often with when. The past continuous describes the longer, ongoing action, while the simple past describes the shorter, interrupting action. I was cooking dinner when the phone rang. She was driving home when it started to rain. In use number 2, the shorter action works like the specific time in use number 1. I was cooking when the phone rang. I was cooking at that moment. At that moment was when the phone rang. We also use the past continuous tense for 2 actions happening at the same time, often with while. We use this to show parallel actions in the past. I was reading while he was listening to music. While the kids were playing outside, their parents were talking inside. Past continuous tense, use 1. An action in progress at a specific time or period of time in the past. At 7 o'clock yesterday morning, I was drinking coffee and reading the news on my phone. Between 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, she was grocery shopping at the local market. At noon yesterday, we were eating lunch in the break room. Last night at 10 o'clock, he was brushing his teeth and was getting ready for bed. At this time yesterday, they were commuting to the office. At about this time yesterday morning, the children were walking to school. At 6 p.m. yesterday, my parents were cooking dinner together. During the morning rush yesterday, people were hurrying to work. At dinner time yesterday evening, she was folding the laundry. At that moment yesterday, we were waiting in line at the bank. Throughout the entire morning yesterday, he was cleaning his apartment. At 8:30 yesterday morning, the bus driver was checking tickets. Around midnight last night, I was trying to fall asleep. During the hottest hours last Friday afternoon, the workers were staying indoors. At lunchtime yesterday, the cashier was helping a customer. At sunset yesterday evening, my neighbor was watering the plants. At this time last week, we were discussing our weekend plans. Last night, just before bed, she was scrolling through messages on her phone. At 4 o'clock p.m. last Saturday, the kids were playing in the yard. Throughout the afternoon yesterday, I was organizing my schedule. Past continuous tense. Use 2. A longer action interrupted by a shorter action. Use the past continuous tense for longer ongoing actions, and the simple past tense for shorter interrupting actions, often with when. I was cooking dinner when the smoke alarm went off. She was taking a shower when the phone rang. We were watching TV when the power went out. He was driving to work when traffic suddenly stopped. They were taking their lunch break when the manager called a meeting. I was reading the news when my bus arrived. She was cleaning the kitchen when a glass fell on the floor. We were tidying up the pantry when a mouse suddenly appeared. He was paying at the counter when his wallet dropped to the ground. I was carrying groceries when one bag tore. They were walking home when it began to rain. She was studying for an exam when her roommate came home. We were waiting for the bus when a taxi passed by. He was fixing his bike when he injured his finger. I was typing an email when my computer froze. She was parking the car when someone honked behind her. They were crossing a bridge when they had a flat tire. I was listening to music when someone tapped on my shoulder. He was standing under a ladder when a can of paint fell on him. We were discussing the plan when an urgent message arrived. Past continuous tense. Use 3. 2 actions happening at the same time. Use the past continuous tense for both actions. I was cooking dinner while my roommate was setting the table. She was talking on the phone while she was folding the laundry. He was watching the news while his kids were doing their homework. The students were taking notes while their teacher was explaining the grammar rules. The dog was chasing birds while my grandparents were watering the garden. She was driving home while her GPS was giving directions. He was working on his laptop while his phone was charging. Her daughters were drawing pictures while she was preparing dinner. Some students were still writing while the teacher was collecting the tests. He was fixing the sink while his son was holding the flashlight. I was listening to music while I was jogging through the park. He was reading the specifications while his wife was comparing prices. We were waiting for the doctor while other patients were filling out forms. She was brushing her hair while she was thinking about her day. I was enjoying the view while I was driving through the state park. The receptionist was answering the phone while the nurse was checking in the patients. They were complaining about the long wait while they were standing in line. The mechanic was inspecting the engine while the customer was waiting nearby. The dentist was examining a patient while the assistant was getting the tools ready. The movers were carefully unloading a piano while the owner was watching. Please note, both while and when can be used to describe an ongoing action in the past continuous tense, but only when is commonly used to describe a short or sudden action in the simple past. In this lesson, we focus on using while for ongoing actions and when for short or sudden actions. Please follow this pattern in the exercises below as well. Do the exercises to check your understanding of the past continuous tense. You can check your answers after each exercise. Exercise 1. Complete each sentence with the correct form of the given verb. Let's check your answers. Exercise 2. When versus while. Complete each sentence with a when or while clause. Use while for ongoing actions in the past continuous tense and when for short or sudden actions in the simple past tense. Let's check your answers. Thanks for watching. If you find this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. If you have any questions about this video, leave a comment down below.